You've been lied to about studying your entire life. Teachers told you to just revise more. Parents told you to work harder. And every so-called study guru on the internet tells you the same recycled garbage. Make notes. Highlight, revise. But let me ask you something. If those methods actually worked, why do most students still forget 80% of what they study within a week? Why do you spend hours staring at books, only to blank out the moment the exam paper is in front of you? The truth is, studying the wrong way is worse than not studying at all. Because when you study the wrong way, you trick yourself into believing you're learning, when in reality, you're just wasting time. You're memorizing words that slip out of your brain the moment you close the book. You're burning energy, sacrificing sleep, giving up hobbies, and still not seeing results. And that's why you feel stuck in this endless loop of frustration. But here's the catch. The problem was never your intelligence. It was never your memory. It was the system that conditioned you to believe that hard work equals results. That's a lie. The human brain doesn't work like that. Your brain is designed to remember what's fed to it in a specific way. If you don't feed it right, it rejects everything. If you do feed it right, it locks information in like a vault. The difference between a failing student and a top scorer isn't IQ, it's method. And in this video, I'm not just going to show you study tips. I'm going to rewire the way you think about studying. Once you learn this, you won't waste hours highlighting pointless paragraphs. You won't reread pages that never stick. Instead, you'll learn how to study in a way that makes information stick permanently. You'll study less, but you'll remember more. You'll feel like your brain is cheating the system, like you've unlocked a code nobody else knows. So before we dive in, I need you to make a choice right now. Do you want to keep studying the old, broken way, working harder, forgetting faster, and staying stuck? Or do you want to finally learn how to study the right way, the way that guarantees you actually remember everything? If your answer is the second one, then keep watching very carefully, because what I'm about to reveal will change the way you study forever. Point 1. Stop passive studying. It's mental poison. Most students believe that if they read more, they'll remember more. But passive studying, just reading, highlighting, or watching videos, is the single biggest reason you forget. Why? Because your brain doesn't learn by seeing. It learns by retrieving. Imagine lifting weights at the gym. Would you ever build muscle by simply staring at dumbbells? Of course not. You grow stronger by lifting. Studying works the same way. Rereading is staring at dumbbells. Active recall, forcing yourself to remember without looking, is lifting them. Here's the dangerous part. Passive studying tricks you into feeling productive. You think, I read 5 chapters today, I'm prepared. But the truth? You just fooled yourself. It's empty confidence. And when exam day comes, that confidence shatters. The right way is this. After learning something, close your book. Test yourself immediately. Write down what you remember. Say it out loud. Quiz yourself until your brain sweats. That discomfort? That's memory being built. If it feels easy, you're doing it wrong. If it feels hard, you're finally studying the right way. Point 2. Break the forgetting cycle with spaced repetition. Here's something sinister about your brain. It is designed to forget. Within 24 hours, you lose 70% of what you just studied. That's why you can pull an all-nighter and still fail. But here's the hack. Forgetting follows a predictable curve. If you review at precise intervals, you break that curve and lock the information in permanently. The timing is everything. Review once after a few hours, again after a day, then after 3 days, then a week. Each time, your brain fights the forgetting and grows stronger. Think of it like sharpening a blade. If you never touch it again, it rusts. If you sharpen it regularly, it becomes a weapon. Most students cram once, then hope for the best. Top scorers? They revisit information at perfectly spaced intervals. That's why they remember everything while others crumble under pressure. Spaced repetition is the antidote to natural forgetting, and the moment you apply it, you'll feel like your memory has doubled overnight. Point 3. Use chunking. Hack your brain's storage limit. Your brain isn't limitless. In fact, it can only hold 7 to 9 bits of information at once. That's why long paragraphs overwhelm you, and why lists blur together. But here's the secret. Your brain can hold unlimited information if you organize it in chunks. This is how memory champions memorize hundreds of numbers in minutes. They don't see hundreds of numbers. They see patterns, grouped meaning. For studying, this means never try to memorize raw data. Instead, group information into patterns. Break chapters into frameworks, categories, or stories. For example, instead of memorizing 20 biology terms separately, chunk them into 3 groups: structure, function, and process. Your brain doesn't remember isolated details. It remembers structured meaning. The moment you learn to chunk, studying becomes effortless. Suddenly, what looked like a mountain becomes a staircase. Point 4. Exploit emotion. Trick your brain into caring. Here's the cold truth. Your brain doesn't care about exams. That's why you forget boring material. It treats it as useless. But the human brain has one weakness. It cannot forget what feels emotional, visual, or shocking. That's why you remember embarrassing childhood moments, but forget yesterday's notes. So, to study the right way, you must force emotion into your learning. How? By exaggerating what you study. Turn dry facts into ridiculous stories. Link terms to shocking images. Make the boring unforgettable. For example, if you're memorizing the word mitochondria, don't just read it. Imagine a power plant exploding inside your body. The more ridiculous, the more memorable. This method, called the memory palace or visualization, is how people remember entire books word for word. If you don't add emotion, your brain deletes the file. If you do, it engraves it forever. Point 5. Study less, but with intensity. Here's the final trap. Most students think success comes from longer hours. Wrong. The brain doesn't respect time. It respects intensity. A single focused hour with no distractions is more powerful than 5 hours of half-distracted scrolling, daydreaming, and checking your phone. In fact, studying too long backfires. You start reading without absorbing, tricking yourself into believing you're learning. The right way is this: short, intense study sprints, 30 to 45 minutes of absolute focus. No phone, no background noise, no distractions, then a short break. Repeat. When you study this way, your brain stays sharp, alert, and hungry to absorb. Long study marathons aren't discipline. They're self-sabotage. Real discipline is cutting distractions, burning your attention into one single point, and letting intensity do the work for you. Point 6. Teach to remember. The forbidden shortcut. Here's a truth nobody tells you. The fastest way to learn is to stop being a student. The moment you flip roles and pretend to teach, your brain rewires itself. Why? Because when you study just to know, you allow yourself to be sloppy. You think, I'll understand this later. But when you imagine explaining it to someone else, your brain goes into survival mode. It sharpens the idea, connects the missing links, and fills the gaps automatically. Think about it. Teachers don't forget their subjects, not because they're geniuses, but because they explain it again and again. Every explanation cements the knowledge deeper. And here's the manipulative part. You don't even need an actual student. You can teach to a wall, a mirror, your phone's camera. The act of teaching forces your brain into clarity. If you stumble while explaining, it's proof you didn't fully understand. And now you know exactly where to focus. This isn't just a trick, it's the ultimate test. Because if you can explain a concept in simple words, without notes, you don't just know it, you own it. That's the forbidden shortcut top students use quietly, while everyone else is stuck rereading. Stop being just a learner. Become the teacher of your own mind, and watch how your memory transforms overnight. Sweetie, before you go, I want you to remember this. You are capable of so much more than you think. You are smart, you are strong, and you deserve success. May your mind stay sharp, may your hard work finally pay off, and may every single dream in your heart come true. Now, my sweet family, tell me in the comments, which one of these study methods will you try first? Active recall, spaced repetition, or teaching to remember? Write it down, sweetie, because when you do, it's like planting a blessing for your future self. And I'm sending love and blessings to each and every one of you.